in terms of working in their own distinct way, but still be able to work together. And as a cultural entity, unless they do that, nothing is going to happen. And he was right about it. And that is what Sangh is again trying to do, not to tell others what to do, but to say that we all, in our own distinct fashion, and we do so much, but in a kind of united way on some common grounds that we are able to work together. I think about it, we've got so many temples all over the country. And we are very, very good at spending money and building wonderful temples. They are great. And it's a wonderful setting where people can come and be together. And as you know, in the days gone by, we thought about India, and India was the one where it was felt that temples play a very important role. It was a social role, it was a cultural role, it was a religious role, it was a spiritual role. And the most important part of the temple was that the temple knew people who lived around and who was sick, who was needy. Today in this country you have got to admire and we have got to learn, because there are so many churches that play a very, very dominant role in their own communities. The elderly, the young, the little ones, and then from there on, Bible classes, and then in the community to work. And all of you probably do that, but I work in the interfaith groups, and there is a university, and this is a university that has it's a Christian university, and I serve on the board of trustees of that university. And that is a very progressive kind of Christian university. And when they asked me to serve, and I looked at them and I said, as a Hindu, and you know what kind of Hindu I am, not a militant one, but a Kattar Hindu, what do you want from me? And they were wonderful to say that we do want to hear that voice. And I did not ask them. Catherine Simon, she asked the president of the university, and she said, do you believe in conversion? Because she said, if they say so, you're not going to be part of it. And he said, no, we don't. And that was wonderful to hear that. But in any event, the point simply is that we are the ones who have to play that kind of an important role. And I hope that we can do that. And as Hindus and as people who believe that all of us can, in our own distinct way, not to merge our identity in each other, not to give directions to others, but in some kind of way, common kind of platform in that sense, that the values are the same, and we are all working for the same cause, and we can work together. So that's really my hope and my dream, and in the next 5, 10, 15 years, that our kids can go to schools of journalism, our kids can go to social and cultural kind of activities and social sciences and humanities, and we can have an impact upon the cultural life of this country as well, because we are not selfish. We want to share what we have with others. Yes, yes, sir.
My question is more as a parent of a 4-year-old. First, I wanted to make a comment, and then I wanted to ask a question. As you were talking about the Hindu way of life, I'm thinking one from just the overall value-based, concept, and the second from just a tactical execution of what a value-based life is from a day-to-day standpoint. Given people's political preferences, there is a different understanding of what a Hindu way of life is. Given the number of Swamijis that crop up in cities across India, there's a different way of understanding of a Hindu way of life. And given people's exposures to different society backgrounds, there is a mutilation of what a Hindu way of life is. Given all these three complexities that as an individual we face, as a parent, what is it that I need to transfer to my kid that this is the right way, this is the Hindu way of life, this is how you go about executing a Hindu way of life in your day-to-day life system. Because if I look back at my own family, what a Hindu way of life was for my grandmother was very different from my father to what it is for me right now. So that is fundamentally, it's a confusion slash what is
That's
it?
a very good question. I think there is a common thread in all these. As you look at that, these are different kind of seemingly different answers to the same question. And the common thread is, I just saw a little book called The Idiot, way of looking at Hinduism. And I think there is so much in common, and as after this meeting you and I can talk about it, there are plenty of common features, no matter how diverse and how divergent in all things. I can probably talk with you. There are people here in this room who have been going and talking about Hinduism and in schools and universities and churches, and Catherine does it, and all of you do it, many of you. But there are common features, which there is absolutely no doubt about it. As a Hindu, we have got, when we talk about way of life, then after this meeting, you and I can again talk about it, and I can give you 2 or 3 or 4 books that you might simply look at and see all those kind of common features. That is what you tell your 4-year-old son, because there is nothing that you can probably hide. It's very transparent. It's you are accountable for all that you do, and these are common features, and I will share them with you. Yes, sir.
One more question.
Yes.
Excuse me. We'll take 2 more questions. And can you please tell your name and organization
Sure,
that you
sure.
represent?
My name is Prasad Yalamanchi. I'm with Global Hindu Heritage Foundation. Coming to Bhutanese refugees, here my wife got 12 people jobs in Chicago area. I'm working on this issue of repealing Hindu Endowment Act in state of Andhra Pradesh. Government controls the temples, and in the process they're destroying them.
You are a troublemaker.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to tell, once upon a time, Afghanistan was a Hindu country. Pakistan was a Hindu country. Bangladesh was a Hindu country. Hindus are disappearing like Mayans in this country, slowly and slowly. Today, let's see, Kashmiri Pandits, they are living in the tents for the past 18 years. No one cares. And same thing with Hindus in Kerala, they have no rights, period. Bangladesh just announced 10% reservation for Muslims. On what basis? Nobody raises why, what reason, nobody questions. There 2 Sikhs were killed in, I think, Afghanistan. Nobody raises issue. I can understand even our Manmohan Singh Ji, he does not speak out when Sikhs are killed, but he has time to speak big issue when few Muslims few Muslim thugs are going on a plane. Oh, this cannot be, you can't profile people. He has a big statement to give. Leave alone. Manmohan Singh is Congress party. What happened to Hindu leaders? They don't speak out. And there is jizya tax is being imposed in Pakistan on any non-Muslims. When are we going to speak? My point is, how do you convince Hindus to take right issues? For example, when I went to India, Swamiji, they have Acharya Sabha. One Swamiji is planning to build 200 crore worth of temple.
Prasadji, what is the question?
Question is, how do you convince Hindus? What are the right issues? Where should we be addressing? Where should we be leading to preserve our way of life, to pass on to our children? But it seems like all the things we are doing are not coordinating well.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. I think your voice is loud and clear. And there are many people like you. I simply want you to know that although I painted a pretty grim picture, but there is plenty of good that is going on. Going around the country, I want you to know that there are people, countless like you and me, who have that kind of passion and that kind of dedication. And I want you to remain a person who is skeptic, but I do not want you to become a cynic. we can, we will, and we must change that kind of attitude. And my own thought is that there are plenty of people like you and me who are going to change it. I want to thank you all for coming. I hear my sister saying, shut up and sit down.
Just only one question, right? Quick question.
So, as we all said here,